G'day guys, it's John here. I want to do a quick video today on data collection. Data collection is a very important part of being able to compete effectively. We have to know how our system responds to different positions and environmental conditions. Now we have our ballistic apps, we can true our apps, we can check our muzzle velocities for hot and cold weather and set up our ballistic apps to account for that. That's entirely another subject. The subject that I want to look at today is point of impact shift from prone, standing, kneeling, things like that. Your rifle may or may not have a small to significant amount of shift. So I'm going to do some shooting down here at these targets, and we're going to discuss data collection today. Now, the other thing I want to look at is cold bore shot, because a cold bore shot is a real thing. If you have cleaned your barrel, you are going to have point of impact movement until your barrel gets sufficiently fouled up again. So typically, I do not clean my barrels. Now what I do find is my first shot for sure is going to hit right and slightly high. And I may have one or two other shots in there until it gets back to center. But by the time I got 5 through, I know I'm for sure going to be good. So typically at the beginning of a match, I'll go to the sighter board and I'll shoot a mag through. I'm not really checking zero. I'm just getting the rifle ready to roll so I don't have to deal with a cold bore shot on the first stage. All right, guys, I'm gonna throw some rounds down there and I'll take you down and take a look. Alrighty guys, got the target here. This here was all shot prone. This here was my first group of the day. This bullet here was my cold board shot. And you can see it was to the right, and that's tracking with what I typically see. We had about a 3-mile-an-hour wind today. I held straight up center. My first shot here, I did not correct, and my next 9 placed here. So one shot and I was good to go this time. Then I shot this group and this group. These are both 10-shot groups with proper fundamentals, good control, and we can see we got some nice little 2 MOA groups. Then we move over here and I shot this one. I got a little sloppy and I dropped one off to the right. This was my first shot after about a 15-minute break. Is it a cold bore shot? I don't know for sure. I need more data to know. This could have been a bad bullet that went straight. And then I have these two. These are both 5-shot groups. As we can see, the 5-shot groups are pretty cute, and they would sound good sitting around the campfire, but they are simply part of a greater dispersion. If we look at this one here, we're filling the whole circle. If we look at this, we have 9 shots here and 1 down here. This is not a flyer, this is part of the group. So it is important to shoot. For me, I like to see at least 20. I'll do multiple 10-round groups when I test 22 ammo. Swing over here to the other target, this target here. I shot this row standing and this row kneeling. Of course, my group size is bigger than it is prone, but what I'm looking for in this case, group size is 1. That's how I track myself. But where did it land in relation to center? I did not adjust my elevation, so I can see if there's a shift in point of impact from prone to positional. And if we look here, the center of my groups is basically running about a 1/2 inch low. It's running about the bottom of the circle here. If we go with kneeling shots, we also have the same trend happening, running right around the bottom of the bullseye. We swing over to the prone and we can see our center is running with center of the bullseye and slightly higher. If I was to plot this out in Excel, I expect I would find we're running probably almost 1/4 of an inch high. So we're splitting the difference between prone and positional to some degree. But I do run 2 separate profiles for positional and for prone. That way on a long range stage, I can account for that. The other option is just to remember your offset and add a couple of tenths when you are shooting a positional stage. Okay guys, we collected the data. We know now we have to dial up 0.3 mil to shoot a positional position from prone. I shot the center target here. Prone, then standing, then kneeling. Prone, standing, kneeling. So I was changing positions every 5-shot group. So I can track myself. I dialed up 0.3 mils to the positional and back down the 0.3 to 0 for my prone shots. And as you can see, I have my groups centered on the bullseye through all the positions. So we can see collecting data, recording it, and then using it, you can be very successful on target.